Monday evening. It's been a super sticky day, humidity on the rise, and temperatures have been awfully warm as well. I think a good example here is Providence, 84 degrees, feeling like 92 right now. Remember, we have that heat advisory in place until we get to 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure you're staying weather aware. Don't forget to hydrate and take breaks in the AC. Now let's talk about what comes next here as we move into these next couple of hours. Satellite and radar still showing you a couple of showers to our north, but nothing too big or bad near us at the moment. But we are going to keep a close eye on this as we watch for a boundary to our north and some moisture to our south coming from what was, believe it or not, Tropical Storm Chantal. Now that is no longer. It's a post-tropical storm, essentially a strong area of low pressure, but it's something we're watching nonetheless. As we move into this evening, looking at a few showers, even a rumble of thunder still left over. Temperatures in the low 70s, pretty mild for this time of year. Let's go forward though, because we do have a lot to talk about as we move through these next couple of days. First of all, chances of rain still stay with us over the next couple of days. We end up with the highest chance though being tomorrow. I do want to talk about one thing here in terms of our available moisture content. This is something it's going to be a little sciencey, but we're going to break it down together. Precipitable water is essentially what this map is looking at, and I know that sounds like a lot, but basically what this is if you took a vertical column of the atmosphere and you wrung it out like a washcloth, how much water would fall out of that washcloth? Well, the atmosphere is holding a lot of water right now. That's why I bring this map up, because as we move into tomorrow and we have those chances of not just showers and thunderstorms, some of those thunderstorms can put down some really heavy rain. In fact, we do have a slight risk from the Weather Prediction Center, the WPC, for excessive rainfall tomorrow across not only Rhode Island, but most of southern New England. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means we have that potential of some very isolated flooding and flash flooding as these storms come about. We also have the potential of some very gusty winds as well. So I really want you to make sure you're staying weather aware. I just want to let you know we are going to be in weather alert mode tomorrow, and I will have more on that in just a second. But here's the timing as these storms get going. 4, 5, 6 o'clock, that line comes to fruition. And these storms don't really move fast. That's part of the problem. If they were moving faster, we wouldn't be as concerned about all that heavy rain in one place, but they're kind of slow going. So we're keeping a very close eye on this for tomorrow afternoon especially. Then as we move into late tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning, still a thunderstorm or two around. Now again, this is not a widespread flood threat. I don't want anyone freaking out. I know this is a very delicate subject right now, but I really want to make sure that you're staying weather aware as we go into a day like tomorrow. How much rain are we expecting? Well, it really depends on when those bulkiest thunderstorms and where those bulkiest thunderstorms set up. I think most of us could get between about 2/10 of an inch and 1/2 of an inch, but where those storms set up and really put down that rain, we could see anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 inches, even a little higher in spots. So we're going to be really careful with this. What can you do in advance of something like this? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm going to back off the screen so you can see this for yourselves. Know your zone. Do you live in a floodplain? That's something that a lot of people actually don't know about their own homes, and I really think it's important to make sure you do know. Have a plan, by the way. Make sure you have exactly that plan set in place in terms of getting not just those watches and warnings, but also in terms of really where you would go if you do have flooding in your area. Temperatures going down over the next couple of days. Again, that's a secondary focus, but I want to let you know we'll be in the upper 80s tomorrow and end up with temperatures in the 70s as we move later into the week. But once again, we're in weather alert mode tomorrow for these showers and storms. But Tiffany, I'm going to catch my breath for a second.
You've been busy.
A lot to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about, but you know, I know like we've been talking about, this is a really delicate matter.
Yeah.
I want to make sure everyone's prepared, and I don't want anyone freaking out. The goal is to always be prepared, not scared, right?
100%.
So something that I think people don't necessarily know is that watches and warnings, when it comes to an emergency situation, they go right to your phone. And some of those warnings come from your weather apps, but some of them actually come from the phone itself, these emergency alert systems. So I want to show you how to put those on. We're going to go to your phones right now. Go to your settings. You see that? You open up your settings. We're going to scroll down. Here we go. Get to our notifications screen. Open up your notifications screen, and you're going to scroll all the way down, all the way to the bottom. And you'll see something that says emergency alerts. Make sure that's turned on. And if that's turned on, just like with an Amber Alert, you have a setting for that too, by the way. Just like with an Amber Alert, that'll come over your phone, no matter what your volume settings are, and it will scream at you.
Which
it
is
will
important
wake you up
if
in the
you're
dead of
asleep.
night.
Right.